Number 6. The Iron Giant. This film is picking up in popularity, but it's still not a household name like a lot of the Disney films, which is ironic because the film's director went on to direct The Incredibles and Ratatouille. But this film has a ton of creativity, comedy, and heart. It's about a kid who befriends a gigantic robot alien and how he, of course, wants to keep it a secret. Unlike E.T. though, the alien can't quite fit in his room, which leads to a lot of funny and clever moments. The best thing about this movie is the subtle relationships everybody has. Not just the kid and the alien, but the kid with his mother, the kid with the agent with the commander, the mother with the artist. All these relationships are present, but they're not shoved in your face. They play out very naturally. Of course, the giant himself is pretty damn cool, too. He's made of metal, eats junkyards, and is voiced by Vin Diesel. Buy me that! More and more people are discovering this film, and with good reason. It's a good film, ranging from subtle and kind to outrageous and action-packed. Much like the giant himself, it's a load of fun and very well constructed. Number 5. Flight of the Navigator. This movie has some of the best build-up you'll ever see in a film. It's gripping, curious, and knows how to keep your attention. It's about a kid in 1978 who trips and falls and somehow wakes up in the year 1986. Everything has aged except him. Scientists are baffled, but even more baffled by the arrival of a spaceship that looks like a metal walnut. They believe that somehow the boy and the ship are connected, and that somehow the boy is the only way to figure out how to get inside. The mystery and build-up in the first half is the best part of the movie, but much like Explorers, it succumbs to kid movie syndrome and has a typical kids movie second half. But even the second half isn't bad. Watching a kid fly around in his own personal spaceship is pretty cool. And on top of that, it has Paul Rubens of Pee Wee Herman fame who does the voice of the computer.
You have the information I require to complete my mission.
That doesn't sound like Pee Wee.
Whoa!
There he is! Actually, I'm glad he doesn't do the Pee Wee voice that much in this movie. I mean, can you imagine how awkward that would be?
This is crack.
The one downside to the movie is that the kid's a bit of a wimp. I think it was written with a younger boy in mind, but instead they went with this older kid. So the cry scenes are, kind of weird.
Please, where's my mom and dad?
Dude, just plug in your Xbox and you'll forget about all your problems like everyone else your age. With great build-up, great story, and great effects, Flight of the Navigator is definitely worth a rent sometime soon. Number 4. Return to Oz. Oh, you mean the sequel to The Wizard of Oz, that charming, colorful musical? Oh, what a delight! I can't wait to visit that magical wonderland again to see all the whimsical enchantment. Holy shit. I mean, talk about not being in Kansas anymore. Return to Oz was nothing like the original 1939 musical. This sequel was dark, with severed heads, shock therapy, and these creepy little demon monsters known as Wheelers. This was one hell of a creepy, creepy movie. And it was so damn cool! I mean, for as creepy as it was still pretty imaginative, still keeping a lot of the charm and surreal nature that Oz had to offer. Just don't expect any cute little munchkins singing, unless they're decapitated. The film also has new characters, like Tick-Tock, Pumpkinhead, and a couch named Gump. Like I said before, I think a lot of kids like being scared because it pulls them much more into the action. If they didn't like being scared, they wouldn't go out for Halloween or watch High School Musical. As dark and creepy as it is, Return to Oz was fun and creative, knowing exactly how to scare the enchanted shit out of us.
It was a novel experience, wasn't it?
Number 3. Babe. Pig in the City. This movie is just incredible. When you're not being sucked in by all the imagination, visuals, and surprising interesting characters, you're sucked in by the technical wizardry that makes this movie work. But it's funny because not once do you question how they got the animals to be trained so well or how they did so many of the effects. How can you when you have so much creativity just exploding around you? The characters are entertaining, the story is fun, and its tone ranges from light and fluffy to dark and brooding. Everything is extreme and odd. The exact opposite of the first Babe movie, which I guess threw a lot of people off. Nobody knew how to feel while watching this film, whether to sit and cry or laugh uncomfortably. But to me, that's the sign of a great film, making you feel and combine all sorts of emotions to give you a new and bizarre feeling. Like feeling happily sad. This film is literally a roller coaster ride, combining big emotion with big visuals. Not to mention one of the most fun climaxes you'll ever see. Yeah, it's a bit dark, but your kids could use a little tougher material sometimes. As long as it ultimately results in a happy ending, I think most kids will be cool with it. If you get a chance, go to your local video store and bring home the bacon. Number 2. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Fresh off the animated series, Batman actually did have one cartoon film that was released in theaters. This film came out around the same time as Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever. And many of us were surprised to find that the animated film actually treated us more like grown-ups than the grown-up film did. The film dives into Bruce's past as we discover that he actually almost had a normal life before becoming Batman. And as the cartoon usually did, it pulled us into the tough choices and gothic storyline that Batman is best known for. On top of that, we got a new villain called the Phantasm, who could appear and disappear with a puff of smoke. That's pretty cool. And they were also nice enough to give us the Joker, who plays a part in a murder mystery that's actually pretty detailed and interesting. As always, the animated Batman is dark and epic, mixing the dreams of a hopeful life with the darkness of reality. It's funny because everyone who sees this movie always asks, why didn't this film do well in theaters? To which I always reply, well, did you see it? The truth is the film was a big bomb at the box office, but hopefully its life on DVD is growing. Because it actually is a very slick and well-constructed thriller. It's intense, adventurous, and dripping in that brooding gloom that we all love from Batman. If you missed it on the big screen, then don't miss your chance to catch it on the small one. And the number 1 underrated nostalgic classic is The Secret of NIMH. Here's an animated film that really treated us like adults, and is actually more clever than it looks. While it was about cute little mice who were having big adventures, Secret of NIMH had a sophistication to it that very few animated films had, especially considering the subject matter. Its hero, Mrs. Brisby, is not a wisecracking heroic warrior, but rather a frightened mother who braves her way through certain danger to save the life of her son. Her fear is our fear, but her bravery gives us the courage to stay with her and face the danger. On top of that, The Secret of NIMH is a three-way battle between the evolution of nature, science, and the unknown. All three are in constant battle in this movie, resulting in extreme ideas and uncertain decisions. The rats of NIMH have been altered through medical experiments, and have evolved into creatures that may be even smarter than mankind, creating electricity, light, and even some mystical elements that can't be explained. Because of this, the rats have a responsibility to their gifts, and decide what choices must be made to survive and continue to grow. Ultimately, it's all three, science, nature, and the unknown, that are needed to move forward to a stronger future. And it is the heart of our main character that shows them the way. Its settings are harsh and uninviting, but it's Mrs. Brisby who pulls us through with her warmth and courage. Its ideas are complex, but not so much that kids and adults can't follow it and understand it. The Secret of NIMH is powerful and intense, creating a world of nature, technology, and magic. And it's, in my opinion, director Don Bluth's strongest work. The Secret of NIMH, my pick for the best underrated nostalgic classic. I'm the nostalgia critic guy, remember it, so you don't have to.